And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again for the second time tonight, from the Emerald Island here in the Caribbean, St. Martin, Saint-Martin, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white and weighing in at 147 pounds. His professional record, 23 victories without a defeat, with 1 draw and 14 KOs to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, con Israel Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico, introducing the #1 ranked WBC welterweight contender in the world, the undefeated challenger, Wilfredo Rivera. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, trimmed with red and blue, and also weighing 147 pounds. Since capturing Olympic gold in 1988, he has won 6 world titles in 4 weight divisions, and his 37 victories with 16 KOs, 1 disputed loss, 1 disputed draw, make him without a doubt, pound for pound, one of the best fighters over the last decade in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting from Norfolk, Virginia, the WBC welterweight champion of the world, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Pernell, Wilfredo. You've heard your instructions inside the dressing rooms. I expect you to behave like gentlemen. Keep your punching on target. Good luck to both of you.
Rivera is one of those fighters, Jim, you know, that I tend to fall in love with when they come out of nowhere to challenge for a title. Most often it turns out to be a one-night stand. Let's see if we can get a more serious relationship going here.
Wilfredo Rivera, no stranger to southpaws. This will be the 8th time in his 25-fight pro career that he's fought against a southpaw opponent. Is that important going against Whitaker, George?
Well, most importantly, you got to be enthusiastic. You're going up against a good, experienced southpaw. You just can't beat him fighting against a southpaw. You just got to get out there and be silly about your aggression.
Whitaker lands a straight left hand. Tactical start for both fighters. Rivera looking to find a way to start sticking the jab, and Pernell just pawing back at him, as if to say, okay, if you're going to paw with your jab, I'll tap you a few times too.
Whitaker hasn't started to drop his hands and do the little tricks that he normally does. That means he's a bit tight right now. Once he finds himself at home and starts playing his tricks, you'll know that he's relaxed.
Kind of a look what I found counter right inside by Rivera as Pernell Whitaker walked into it while looking for an opportunity to get in. You see Pernell ducking and looking, as he will occasionally do. Rivera that time with a lead right hand. He'll occasionally switch to a southpaw stance because he throws that lead right hand well enough to use it as a jab.
When you're a veteran like Pernell Whitaker, your whole career is dependent on how many tricks that you're able to bring to mind quickly in 3 minutes time every round. Power is one thing, endurance is another, but you got to have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. You got to drop your hand, draw your opponent. You got to do something, stick your head out or something to make him start throwing punches. You don't want him to be conservative at all.
Whitaker in his last fight. Got a rare 6th-round knockout over Jake Rodriguez. Prior to that, he had had 10 straight decisions in title defenses. And as far as tricks are concerned, this man knows everyone in the book and has invented some that aren't yet in the book.
Not only so, he's starting to land punches to the belly of Rivera.
Watch it go. Let's see it go.
Pernell grinning at his own antics here as referee Larry O'Connell says, let's get serious. And round one comes to a close. As we go to Rivera's corner and he waves to the crowd with the Puerto Rican banners in the background. Our interpreter is Hector Garcia.
Just take it easy. Just be relaxed. Don't forget what we tried at the gym. We practiced, we worked on those moves. Don't forget what we practiced. Your lateral moves are very important. And just go for it.
Simple as that, all right? Now, watching the time, he's going to come back with the hook. But look, move that head. Just keep the head moving and keep sticking him with the jab. Body and chest, body and chest. Forget his head. But keep him with that left hand. Keep moving that head. That's all you got. Stop that jab. Punch this guy's over the jab.
The early impression is that it will take Whitaker a much longer time to take the bark off his opponent than it did for Ike Quartey to do it to his opponent. This is the kind of guy it's very hard to look good against.
And that's sort of to be expected given the disparity in their styles. Pernell isn't a knockout puncher and doesn't look for the opportunity very often.
But the veterans, it's very important when you're a veteran like Pernell Whitaker to win this fight in the first three rounds, so that you get the guy reaching, jumping, flinching, and the fight is not hard as it go on. But you take him out of the fight in the first 3 rounds.
And you do that through what? Guile or aggression?
You hit them in the body a lot and in the chest to take the power away, number one. And secondly, make him be unsure of everything that he does from that point on. Make him unsure about everything.
Well, you saw Rivera's very low connect percentage in the first round, only 17%. That's pretty typical of opponents who get in against Whitaker and find him very difficult to locate.
Whitaker knows everything about himself. He knows if he gets low, make the opponent get low, he no longer has the height and reach disadvantage. He got a lot of tricks he plays out there. You got to keep him up. When a guy's taller than you, make him shorter.
So by bringing Rivera down to him, he eliminates the taller man's leverage.
That's true, and that's what you do. You keep stooping down, stooping down. Finally, the tall guy gets low, too.
Right, come out.
Whitaker landing the jab flush. Rivera trying to come back to the body. Now Whitaker lands a straight left hand.
Right, come out. Right from the toe, that's it. I'll bring your hands around.
And as a veteran boxer like Whitaker, you throw heavy punches, never to knock a guy down, but only to make him respect you.
Straight right hand by Rivera, but so far it looks to me like the tall Puerto Rican is just too cautious, George. He's going to have to throw all this caution to the wind and go.
You've got to do it. Probably the greatest fight I've ever seen in that weight division is Jose Nápoles. Threw away his scientific fighting ability and attacked Curtis Coke like an amateur and won every round.
Hands down, get her out. Punch it on top, let go of your right arm.
A left-hand lead. Rivera simply looking confused against the master of deception. Straight right hand lands for Whitaker. Second round, not much better than the first for Wilfredo Rivera.
Okay, Wilfredo, llevamos dos. Llevamos dos. La pelea está pareja.
The fight is even. We have 2 rounds already in. The fight is even. Your lateral moves are very important. I don't want to keep telling you. The lateral movements are very important. Go low, go below.
Snap the jab, right? And then get your combinations off. He's trying to hit you with the right hand. That's all he's got. And don't stand in front of him too long. Turn him, feint him.
Move that head, baby. Move that head. Start getting him a lot of head movement now. Give him a little bit of good shit.
You're doing beautiful out there.
Take a little step to the right when you jab.
All right, second round.
Right here.
You heard the voices of Ronnie Shields and Lou Duva in the corner of Pernell Whitaker.
Rivera's lifetime ambition is to be an accountant, which tells you something about his temperament and personality. He's going to win this fight. He's going to have to go to the gaming tables a few yards from here, take his hands out of his pockets and put his sharp pencil away and just go to work.
You know, an extremely devout Christian. Rivera yesterday, when we met with him, had his Bible in his room open to the book of Job. And as George reaffirmed to us, Job is the ultimate lesson in patience. He's been too patient here so far.
No doubt about it. You've got to get a little amateurish with Pernell Whitaker. The more professional you get, he's the best at that. Once you get stupid and out of range and he can't calculate what you're going to do, then you'll win points.
Just brawl him. Change it up. Rivera leaning back after he throws his punches. Now he gets to the body as Whitaker comes in. And another good right hand body shot for Rivera again as Whitaker was coming in.
Now Whitaker's got to protect himself from these kind of body punches. You take away a little of his jab, he's dropping his right hand now.
There's a cut, a bad cut, probably from a headbutt.
Over the eye of Rivera.
On Rivera's forehead. And we're just in the 3rd round, Harold. What does it mean?
Well, at this point, if they stop the fight on a kind of an accidental headbutt, it's a technical draw. You got to go 4 rounds before we go to the scorecards. 4 completed rounds.
Flip Pomansky has given permission for the fight to go ahead. He doesn't think it's dangerous. It is high on the forehead, just below the hairline.
Well, maybe this will be what it takes to release Rivera's inhibitions, but as the blood starts to flow again, Whitaker lands a solid left.
And it's flowing into his eye. That's what makes it dangerous. It's not the cut itself. It's the blood flowing into that left eye.
That cut is in an awkward place, George. You think there's any chance they can get it stopped?
Right, because he's not messing up his vision. He starts blinking a lot. Pomansky from Las Vegas, very cautious doctor. He's had some bad incidents in his life, and he's not going to see them happen again.
Rivera switching southpaw now, so that the lead eye is now the right eye, where the blood is not trickling into his eye. Very smart. Terrific tactical move by Wilfredo Rivera, and now immediately he lands 2 solid shots.
The blood may be worse than the cut, but it's pretty bad, that blood. I don't think I can recall anybody looking quite as bloody as this.
Big job between rounds for the cut man, Jim Strickland, in Wilfredo Rivera's corner.
And the Dr. Flip Pomansky is coming up on the ring apron to check it out.
Now this is the 2nd stoppage in the round by the referee, and this takes place with scant seconds remaining before the bell. Time for maybe one more Rivera shot, and then the bell is going to ring. Jim Strickland gets right in front of the fighter and goes to work.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
There's the cut.
It's okay. This is okay.
They're putting some kind of an ointment on it.
Harold, what are the legal substances to put in the cut?
Well, generally, in these title fights, they only allow you to use adrenaline 1 to 1,000. But most cornermen make an agreement. They let you use Thrapin or Avatine. I think he's using Avatine.
Now let's take a look and catch the butt. Right there. right there. One heady fighter to another.
I think the blood on the top of Whitaker's head comes from Rivera. Harold, will the Avitine stop the bleeding considerably more rapidly than would have been the case with the adrenaline solution?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. All the good cornermen want to use Avitine today. Incidentally, Jim Strickland, the cut man, registered pharmacist, former pharmacy owner in Chicago. Good cut man.
Did a good job here. Has stopped the flow for the moment.
Harold, who is a pharmacist himself, is partial to pharmacists.
He knows a good pharmacist when he sees one, huh? Now that cut is way too high on Rivera's head for Whitaker to even begin to think of targeting it, right, George?
The good thing about it, you send him Rivera back to his corner, and they're thinking more about the cut than they are instruction. And that's what you gain with a cut like this. Get them out of their game plan, and that's what this cut has done.
Now Rivera's going to stay in this southpaw stance for a while. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see him stay in it the rest of the way.
No doubt about it. He's showing him the side that's not bleeding. That's only going to help.
And it also gives him a chance to see better because that lead eye is the one that isn't bothered. Good, strong left hand over the top by Rivera. I think Whitaker's thrown off by the southpaw stance a little bit here, George.
It'll make him fight a bit more. When Whitaker's thrown off, he starts trying to fight. And sometimes a veteran needs to get out there and know he's got to fight to win these fights.
Whitaker lands a hard left-hand counter inside. Momentarily stunned. Pernell with a roundhouse left, and Pernell Whitaker senses a chance here and starts to get aggressive.
Not only so, he made his opponent switch for a moment back into his customary right hand stand. And a veteran, look at these things. Everything you do, they think about, I made him switch.
All right, George, we're going to go over to Larry Merchant right now, who has gone over to Jim Strickland, the cut man, in Wilfredo Rivera's corner. Larry?
All right, Jim, would you tell us how dangerous that cut is, if at all, and what danger it poses?
Well, if we don't stop the bleeding, it's very dangerous because it'll blind him. He won't be able to see them. You saw how the blood was bleeding, saw how profusely it was bleeding. But I think I'm able to control that blood.
What did you put on it to try to control it?
I used a mixture of Avitine and lanolin, and I flooded it with adrenaline.
All right, thank you very much.
Some bleeding now from the top of Rivera's skull, not nearly the deluge that gushed out of there right after the cut came in round number 3. So Rivera making his way through round 4 with reasonable control and not too much more damage from the butt cut on his head.
Ya se controló la herida.
It's already stopped. The bleeding's already stopped, so just relax. Don't worry about it. Listen to me. You try to hit him in the shoulders now. Go to the shoulders. And apply. You have to apply more pressure. I need you to be more aggressive. You have to be more aggressive.
You got to throw at this guy here. You throw 2 or 3 punches, he can't do nothing.
And look, don't stand right in front of the guy.
No, give him a lot of
jab,
give him a lot of
around, and get some face, and when you get close, you got to start hitting him in the body.
All right, second shot. Give him a lot of bullshit out there.
Round 5 coming up. Round 4 was the best in the fight so far for Rivera.
Maybe the desperation that comes from being cut and feeling and tasting his own blood has activated the gambling instinct in Rivera.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
Well, Jim, I've got it 3 rounds to 1, 39-37, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Jim, I think the mistake that Wilfredo Rivera's making is he's standing straight up. I mean, he told us he was going to give his head movement, he was going to bob and weave, and he lied. He's standing straight up like a totem pole. He's an easy target for Pernell Whitaker's left hand.
Harold, you must have given Rivera round 4.
Exactly. I gave him the 4th round. You know, they landed the same amount of punches, but Wilfredo really landed the hardest shots in the 4th.
I have the same score.
And Rivera is back to his conventional stance, George. Now he switches back to southpaw again.
And the point is, Rivera is not standing up. He's bending his knees down to Pernell Whitaker's height with his head up. If he would only get his legs a little closer together, he'd have a reach and height advantage, and he's not doing that.
What about the lateral movement his corner keeps crying for?
You don't need lateral movement if you're above, you're up there in the sky. One thing you don't want to do is move your head because your head is already out of the way when you're taller.
He brought his head down far enough to allow Whitaker to land that over-the-top left hand. Pernell starting to throw harder punches now as the fight progresses. There are some in Whitaker's camp who are worried about his stamina because he had the flu during training, and then he got a bronchial condition afterward and eventually took antibiotics to clear it up. But he did not have the best possible training circumstances.
And right now, Pernell Whitaker, the veteran, has got his right hand low. He's pacing himself, and this is when Rivera could be aggressive and win some points here.
But it just doesn't seem to be in him to be aggressive enough, and now the blood is starting to flow again.
Come out, come out.
All right, Harold, we're into round 5 now, so let's reinterpret the rule on the accidental headbutt cut.
Okay, Jim, as long as referee Larry O'Connell says that that cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, since 4 completed rounds have, since 4 rounds have been completed, if the fight is stopped because of that cut, we go to the scorecards. Even if it's stopped in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th round, we still go to the scorecards if the fight is stopped because of the cut that was originally produced by a headbutt.
Whitaker is starting to land that overhand left with some regularity, and he might just have a chance to whack Rivera out of here, George, because he's throwing more power shots than he normally does.
Whitaker, as a matter of fact, he looks down on himself when he tries to get a knockout. He'll land those punches, but it's about give me my respect.
Estás dejando que el tipo te robe el ataque todo el tiempo. Así estamos jodidos, caballo.
We're not doing too good. You allowed him to get in. You have to apply pressure. Come on, man. Those lateral movements, I keep telling you. Those punches to the head. Go to the body first. Drink some water.
Wilfredo,
you have to apply the pressure.
El jab,
the jab.
Y vamos al cuerpo primero. ¿Oíste?
You're going to be in the same place, baby.
Get close. Start using the hooks.
So 2 or 3 shots at one time.
Second shot.
All right, 2 or 3 shots. Come on, 2 or 3 shots.
Round 6 begins on the island of San Martin. The wind starting to whip through this outdoor makeshift boxing setting just a little bit more strongly than before. Rivera back in the conventional stance. That exposes the side of his head, which is cut, to Whitaker's right jab.
That's right. He's still making that mistake of spreading his legs too far, bringing his height advantage down. The giant in Jack and the Beanstalk, you don't get the giant doesn't try to bob and weave with Jack. He uses his height.
So in this case, Jack doesn't even have to chop down the Beanstalk because the Beanstalk is coming to him. Not as technically proficient so far as is normally the case, at least not by our punch stat numbers. He's landing at about a 16% lower rate than is normally the case. Rivera getting some chances, especially when he goes to this southpaw stance.
Now the veteran starts to play his tricks. And
Rivera remembering to go to the body there. Good idea. He got a couple couple body shots in on Whitaker in the early rounds, and he'd be well advised to keep after it.
That's true. Now, Whitaker, when you're not in good shape, you got to act like you're in good shape.
Right-left combination landing for Whitaker.
Whitaker, what he's doing, he lands a good shot, then he makes his opponent try to pay him back. Then all you do is step out of the way, let him expend some more of his energy.
Hold it. Yeah.
Straight left hand lands for Whitaker. It's become a tactical boxing match. It's very tough to beat Pernell Whitaker in a tactical boxing match.
No doubt about it. Now he knows he's going to try to pay him back now. Go.
You throw one punch and then you quit, all right? Look, this guy is too tall for that, all right? You can't just throw one shot and get away with it all the time. You gotta go behind 2, 3, 4 punches, just stepping around this guy. You ain't gotta fight with this guy. You can just keep boxing like you're boxing, okay? But you gotta be busier. That's all it is.
You're not busy enough, Pete. You're not busy enough.
Come on, man.
Ponle más presión.
You have to put the pressure. We're not going to catch up with this guy if you don't apply pressure. You have to do it now. If we want to stop this guy, you got to apply the pressure. Otherwise, we're never going to do it. So go for it. Go for it, man. You have to throw those punches low. Combinations.
All right. Ordinarily, Pernell Whitaker frustrates this type of awkward, tough, willing fighter in the first half of the fight, makes him come to him and open up, and then runs away with it in the second half of the fight. But we have to ask the question again, is he in the kind of top shape that he can do that same thing he has done over and over?
Whitaker only threw 47 punches in round 6. That's a very low work rate for him. He only connected on 27% of them. That's an extremely low connect percentage for him. So there are some dark signs on the horizon for Whitaker, despite the fact that he has been up to now in control of the fight against a fighter who is trying to deal with a very deep cut near his hairline on the left side of his head.
But that cut did not bother him in the last round, didn't open up, and appears to be no factor at this moment.
Credit Jim Strickland, the cut man, with having gotten the job done up to now.
Take him out. Head up. Right. Come on, man. Get your head up. Okay, get your head up. Box on.
Rivera's back in the conventional stance. If he gets a little bit more aggressive and starts throwing at a higher rate, Whitaker's going to have to work here.
Stand back, stand right back, stand right back.
All the veteran Whitaker is doing now, apply some pressure, land about 3 or 4 punches to the pit of the stomach, and keep close to him while you're resting.
So he's coasting.
He's coasting, generally coasting to get his wind back. Stay close.
Clinch, you saw Rivera literally holding his left glove over the cut to protect his head.
Okay, box up.
Body shots at close range. Rivera goes back to the southpaw stance, gaming with Whitaker just a little bit.
That's what a veteran wants from a young fighter. Make him pose, throw his punches, ball your fist up, make pose for me, and give me a little time to rest. And that's what Whitaker is getting.
There's a small mouse next to the right eye of Pernell Whitaker, George. Now, Pernell has no history of cutting, but there is a tiny blemish, a mouse, right at the edge of his eye.
And he's very frustrated as he goes to the corner.
Well, from St. Martin tonight to South Dakota next Saturday night. Join us April 20 when HBO Boxing After Dark presents Virgil Hill defending his light heavyweight title against undefeated contender Lou Del Valle, plus a heavyweight match featuring Lou Savarese and Buster Mathis Jr. Some of the best in the business work the night shift, as you'll see next Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. You considered fighting Lou Savarese at one point, didn't you, George?
I don't know about that.
You didn't think about it?
No.
Okay.
Hold up those hands. That's all. This guy's getting desperate now. All right, guys.
Let's take a look here and see something we've caught in our replays, how Rivera is stepping on Pernell Whitaker's feet and punching, but he's getting away with it. It doesn't appear to be purposeful, but it's effective. And this fight is kind of ugly. It's a boxing, mauling, brawling, what? Harold, how do you have it after 7 rounds?
Well, Larry, I've got it a little bit closer. 67-66, 4 rounds to 3. Pernell Whitaker. I thought that Wilfredo Rivera did enough in round 6 and 7 to win those rounds, make it a little bit closer. But the only thing is, I really question what Jim Strickland's using on that cut. Because I'll tell you, he really closed it up awful fast. There's something funny about that. I don't know. I hate to say he's using Mansell solution, which is illegal, but I want to tell you, that thing's not bleeding at all. I find it strange.
Well, what would happen if they found out that it was an illegal substance?
Then he should lose under disqualification. I mean, you're not allowed to do it.
But under what rules would it be illegal? There's no local commission here, Harold.
But there is a local commission. They're just being aided by Gary Shaw and Larry Hazzard. But I don't know. Do you guys notice the same thing I'm noticing? It's not, oh, now it opened up.
Well, I mean, we're giving Strickland credit for having done a terrific job, and that's as far as we can go, frankly, Harold, because we don't know what he put in there.
Exactly. But, boy, the last 2 rounds, I mean, all you saw was that black mass there.
The thing about it, Pernell Whitaker went to the body and pushed and shoved a lot. He didn't even throw a lot of head punches at all. Tried to rest, take a little out of his opponent. Now he's going to the head a bit this round.
Yeah, and here comes the blood again out of the cut. So while it was effectively closed between rounds, it's opened up again here. Rivera, who has never knocked an opponent out past the 7th round, has to look at the likelihood of going the distance here. He switches back to the southpaw stance now to protect the bloody eye on the left side. Whitaker looking for a chance to pop to the body as he holds Rivera with his right arm.
He knows every trick in the book, no doubt about it. Whitaker's a cat, and he can scratch. Whitaker is taking the charge with the left with his right jab, and that should never happen with a taller opponent.
Good hard right hand by Rivera as Whitaker was stepping in. And Rivera now landing the harder shots and backing Whitaker up round after round. This could get interesting. You saw that Harold has it with only a 1-point margin after 7 rounds.
Whitaker's pretty smart. He picks a fight and he steps out of there. That's what you want to do with the younger fighter. Make them expend some of that energy. Pick the fight, but don't get into it. Back away once they start swinging.
That's about the ugliest right hand I've ever seen.
Tira las piernas y abre las manos. Abre los guantes, abre los guantes, abre los guantes.
Coge aire.
Close your ass.
No le des la nariz, no le tapa la nariz.
Are you okay?
Wilfredo, escúchame.
Listen to me, Wilfredo.
Vamos para el 9.
We're going to the 9th round.
Wilfredo, quedan 4 asaltos.
There's only
Hay que
4 rounds
arroparlo,
left.
¿me entiendes?
We have to do this now.
Ponle presión.
Apply that pressure.
Óyeme, vamos abajo y después subimos.
Let's go down to the body and then go up to the head. You have to use your combinations.
Está bien, pero vamos a trabajar. El ojo está
But
bien.
your eyes is okay. Your eyes okay. But we have to work. Throw punches.
This is back in round 3 when their heads collided and Rivera's head took the worst of it. It does seem, Jim and George, that when it bleeds, that Whitaker wins the round.
No doubt about it. The judges look at it like that.
You think that influences judges, George?
I'm a judge. Of course, I've never been one, but Harold Letterman has been. I'd look at that blood and say, oh, the guy's getting crushed.
Harold, how about you?
Larry, it shouldn't. You score the punches, you don't score the blood. Unfortunately, you're right, it does. A lot of judges, they see a guy bleeding, they just look at the other guy. You're 100% correct. It does influence the judges, and it shouldn't.
But here's what else the judges might have seen in the last 2 rounds. Rivera almost doubling Whitaker's punch output, landing more punches, and constantly coming forward while Pete backs up. Now another timeout.
Jim, let me say this much. This is getting interesting. If they stop it here, they score the partial round. In other words, they would score round 9. You know, round 9 would become part of the scoring here, even though very little of round 9 has been completed.
But they're not stopping it, Harold. They're checking his glove at this point because apparently some of the tape came unwrapped. And it seems to me a rest like that has to benefit Whitaker at this point.
Amen to that. Knows that Rivera's corner has told him to get out there and get on top of this guy, try to finish him off. Now he can just step and jab, 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 step away. Occasionally open up with a combination, but maintain, he thinks, his lead.
Now here comes the blood again. Right hand to the body. Rivera tapping punches. He doesn't throw nearly as hard when he's in the conventional stance and when the bloody side of his head is toward Pernell Whitaker. He's much more aggressive when he turns around and goes southpaw.
Yeah, he seems not to care about the cut on his head as much.
Box up.
Not quite certain what they're watching in a lot of instances here. Of course, they don't have the benefit of a replay to see that the cut came from an accidental headbutt. Whitaker lands a hard right hand coming in, and Rivera switches back to the southpaw side.
And the veteran Whitaker is doing smart stuff. He's a counterpuncher, and he's got a contender playing the counterpuncher game with him. Things just couldn't be better for him.
Whitaker just missed a haymaker left.
You're going to see Lou Duper jump on Pernell Whitaker this round. Whitaker drops his right hand down.
This is beginning to look a little bit like a bullfight, with the bullfighter just poking blood from the bull.
Wilfredo, toma agua.
Wilfredo, drink some water.
Put a few wraps around it, okay? Wilfredo, ¿me oye?
Look at that punch output for Whitaker, guys. He only threw 38 punches in the round.
You have to keep applying that pressure. You keep working. Listen to me.
Wilfredo, ese es el trabajo. Tiene que trabajar más.
3 rounds, 3 rounds. You got it. Good, man. All right, come on. Let's go. Let's get them together, man.
Get the combinations off.
I'm solving these combinations.
Earlier we showed you Rivera stepping on Whitaker's foot and hitting. And here you're seeing just the opposite. Whitaker stepping on Rivera's foot. It often happens with left-handers when they meet, changing stances. It's inadvertent, but it does affect what happens when they do step on each other's feet.
Rivera begins round 10 with a right-hand lead. Whitaker pecking and moving, pecking and moving. And Harold Letterman now has Rivera leading the fight. Rivera is the constant aggressor, and Whitaker is backing up. Now here comes Pernell coming in. He's going to have to rally, I think, in these last 3 rounds, George, to be absolutely certain of making his impression on the judges.
You know, the thing about Whitaker's been landing some hard shots, and once you do that, you have a tendency to ease up and say, I heard him, why throw a whole bunch more, I'm winning the round. It's not looked at sometimes by the judges. They see you just didn't throw a lot of punches. They don't even count the hardness of your shots.
Well, Whitaker has never had to land hard shots to win. He's done it by piling up points round after round. He's won 83% of the rounds he's fought, almost all of them in championship fights, since his only loss to Jose Luis Ramirez several years ago. Pernell's mouth constantly open as he breathes through his mouth. Of course, both fighters have a right to be tired as they come through the 10th.
This is a time in your career, you're smart, you've won a lot of boxing matches, but you need some advice from your corner. And once the corner gives you the advice, you got to take it.
Whitaker leaping in to try to land there.
Whitaker needs some advice now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he's gotten the sense of urgency out of Ronnie Shields and Lou Duva that might be appropriate for this situation.
He's playing right into the old counter punches game. Now he's throwing, leading, and Rivera is catching him on the counter. Whitaker doesn't like that.
And Pete smiles and laughs at Rivera, and Rivera smiles and laughs right back at him as round 10 comes to a close.
I know he did. Hey, come on.
We need, hey, Pete.
I know he did.
Pete, we need a round.
Pete, stay still. You got to let swelling up. Stay still. Let Joe do his job. Okay. Listen, just pay attention. Go ahead, Joe. Listen, Pete, just pay attention, all right? Just pay attention to me.
I'm going to stay in the middle of that motherfucking room.
Stay in the middle, but you got to move your hands. Let me take the mouthpiece out. You got to move your hands. You understand? We need one of these 2 rounds. That's all we need.
We need 1 round, baby. 1 round.
2 rounds to go, man. You have to go. You have to give me the best 2 rounds of your life right now. I have to apply that pressure. Give me the best 2 rounds. Let's go. You want to be a champ? You got to do this.
Just a reminder, fellas, that earlier I said that a good fighter you haven't prepared seriously for can become more of a danger than a much better fighter you have prepared seriously for. It's never easy to know how much of a factor that is here, but this is a closer fight than many people anticipated.
How close, Harold Letterman?
Okay, Jim, I honestly believe that Pernell Whitaker is in definite danger of losing this fight. I've got it 6 rounds to 4, 96-94, Wilfredo Rivera. He's the aggressor. He's landing the hardest shots. Pete's backing up. Give Wilfredo credit for clean punching, effective aggressiveness, good defense. I think he's winning, and that's all there is to it. I'm giving him the last 5 rounds in a row. I
have Whitaker ahead by the same score, 6 rounds to 4.
I pretty much say it the same way. Whitaker's ahead, but barely. Whitaker's ahead in my book. He's going to have to maintain that lead by getting a bit more aggressive. Whenever Rivera doubles up on that right hand, he just can't miss Whitaker's face.
The judges are from New Jersey, Trinidad, and Hawaii. So 2 of the 3 are American judges. And of course, both of these technically are American fighters. Now Whitaker chopping away with the left hand as he begins to become more active in the 11th.
I think that's kept Whitaker in the fight, that right jab of his. Whenever he gets behind, he applies that pressure with the jab, and the points start to add up again.
When I say both fighters technically are American, of course I refer to the fact that Puerto Rico is a protectorate under the auspices of the USA. Whitaker landed at a higher rate in round 10, but again, only threw 35 punches. He does seem to be trying to bring the punch output up a little bit here, George.
There's a strange look on Pernell Whitaker's face, and you don't like to see that look on a veteran fighter's face because you think, when is that last fight is going to happen? And every veteran got to look for that last fight he has in him.
Straight right hand shot lands for Rivera. And Rivera begins to fight as though he smells success. You're talking about one of the greatest champions in the sport, the man generally regarded as one of the 2 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Would judges give him the benefit of the doubt, or the Puerto Rican fighter that they are likely not to have seen before? That question answers itself.
He made Pernell Whitaker miss a straight left hand in the latter round. That just doesn't happen.
Come on, baby, let's go. Hey, last round, we got to suck it up, baby. Last round, baby. This is for the gold now. This is the gold medal right here. This is the gold medal round. This is what we be talking about in training camp. This is it right here. Now we got to...
You have to apply the most pressure you possibly can in the last minute. Don't let him break. Keep busy. You know we're going to win this fight.
Wilfredo, un round.
Let's go, 1 round to go.
You got to throw combinations at this guy, right?
Hustle, 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 baby. Don't let this guy out hustle you.
Don't let them hustle.
He cannot fight going back, you understand?
Throw punches.
You heard someone in the corner telling Pernell Whitaker this was a gold medal round. The Olympics meant a lot to Pernell. He told us he wanted to do well. And this year, the first time the Olympics have been held, and it will be held in the U.S. since he won the gold at Los Angeles. And he has to make a statement in this round.
Whitaker fans in the crowd chanting, Pete, Pete, Pete. In the 11th, he managed to up the punch output a little. He threw 43, but Rivera threw 73. He's still backing Whitaker up most of the time. High drama in the Caribbean. Hard right hand by Rivera. And the Puerto Rican contingent comes up out of its seats.
Yeah, the hard reality is you get to be a veteran. I don't care if you had 100 boxing matches. This is still the fight game. And then when it hits you in the 12th round that you got to fight, after all of this glamour of being pound for pound, all of that stuff, still got to fight to win. It hurts.
2 vicious right-hand body shots by Rivera. Whitaker comes back with a hard left hand. Rivera gets lucky with a right-hand counter inside. Still the aggressor, still backing Whitaker up. Less than a minute and a half to go.
I thought Whitaker's legs wobbled there for a moment.
More than a moment.
I think he is mondo exhausto, guys. I think all the rumors about the training are proving all too true for Pernell Whitaker.
Rivera even cut off off the ring from Pernell Whitaker. No one has been able to do that before.
Question, is it all coming too late? Rivera was awfully patient in the early rounds when we thought he should have gone at Whitaker a little harder.
This is what he should have been doing in the first 6 rounds.
Whitaker not throwing much. Rivera looking to land a couple more hard shots. Whitaker ducks into the corner against the taller man and doesn't get anything out of it.
Now, veteran, you got to play your tricks, and you got to play your tricks good. You got to drop your hand, you got to bounce, you got to spin, you got to run. And convince the younger fella, hey, I've got lots of energy.
Wilfredo Rivera looking over Whitaker's shoulder at you and me, George, and winking at us.
He believes that he's taking this thing from Pernell Whitaker.
He thinks he's got it. He thinks he's got one of the biggest upsets in recent years in boxing. In a couple of minutes, we'll find out.
I think he's got it.
Look at the swelling above Whitaker's left eye. He has never looked like that before.
What happened is, when you get older, you don't want to dry out, go without water, and dehydrate yourself anymore. You want to be a wealthy fella. And what comes along with that? Puffing, swelling. You got to pay those dues.
Because your body's just not as resilient as it is when you're perfectly trained.
It's not the body. You just don't want to put it through the grind to make it like that anymore.
Yep.
You can do it, but you got to want it.
Well, according to punch stat numbers in round 12, Whitaker threw 32 punches and Rivera threw 70. Whitaker landing 11, Rivera landing 24. I don't see how you could score the round any other way other than for Wilfredo Rivera. And there's Harold Letterman's card. Harold.
Jim, I think it's the end of it here in boxing. I've got a 115, 113, 7 rounds to 5, Wilfredo Rivera. Jim, I just go for the aggressive guy every time. I mean, this is effective aggressiveness. He moved forward. He punched. He landed. You can't take it away from a guy who's the effective aggressor. He will win 99% of the time. Wilfredo Rivera carried this fight to Whitaker, backed him up. He hurt him. He whacked him. He banged him. He did everything he has to do to become the welterweight champion of the world.
George, you think Pernell held on and won the fight?
Yeah, I think he had too many of the earlier rounds. In my mind, I think that pulls it out for him. Rivera was trying to catch up, and he caught up in the last round as far as winning, but I don't think he had enough rounds in the bank, in my mind. But then I'm not a judge.
Well, there you have it. I mean, those are the two ways that this particular pendulum could swing. Either Whitaker won it by putting away the early rounds and building a commanding lead, or Rivera won it by being more aggressive and by being the commander in the late rounds. Final punch stat numbers, and you're going to look at a huge disparity in punches thrown. You can see that Wilfredo Rivera threw 175 more punches than Whitaker, landed more than Whitaker, and even though the percentage is lower, he was backing Pernell up for the last 7 rounds of the fight. Power punches, and Pernell threw more of them tonight than he might normally throw. Only landed 20 out of 93. Look at that, 402 power punches for Rivera, and he landed 141 of them. So by punch stat numbers, there's a disparity in favor of Rivera in activity, but in favor of Whitaker in terms of accuracy. Let's go to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards, and we have a split decision. Barbara Perez scores the bout 116 to 113. She has it for Rivera. George St. Ada scores the bout 115 to 113. He has it for Whitaker. Tamatsu Tamehara scores the bout 117 to 112 for the winner by split decision, and still WBC welterweight champion of the world, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
The round
pounds for the game challenge.
George Foreman, I got one question for you. Did that decision say that you've got to beat a great champion like Whitaker by a wider margin than that?
No doubt about it. Rivera did a good job in the final rounds, but when it was very important to establish himself as the fighter to win this fight, he laid back too long. The first 6 rounds were clearly Pernell Whitaker and big for Pernell Whitaker.
Let's go to Larry Merchant with the winner, Sweet Pea Whitaker.
All right, Pernell, congratulations, but barely. Did you think when you heard them say split decision that you had lost this title?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was a good fight, you know. These guys, got to understand, these guys don't come in, they come in to win. And but the fight was easy for me, you know, but
it wasn't easy for you in the last rounds when he seemed to be pressing you, hitting you more than we're used to seeing you hit.
That's you guys will spoil you. You know, you guys think I can't get hit. You know, but obviously, you know, it was a good fight. He was hungry. He wanted to win. And you can't fault that, you know. But you know, I always do the things that get me through.
Were you in the kind of condition that could give 12 Pernell Whitaker rounds?
You've seen it. You know, obviously I could go 12 rounds.
No, 12 rounds, but what we saw is him coming on in the last half of the fight.
Strong fighter.
Oh, so, but, you know, I'm a good finisher. You know, I can finish, I can do it all. It's nothing I haven't done. It's nothing that I haven't done that's already been done.
What about him gave you the most trouble?
Oh, no, it was no problem. He just came in, he was ready. You know, he was ready. You know what? He came in to win the fight, and I just came in, I was prepared to take his best.
How
did anything away from the fighter? He's a good fighter.
How did the bleeding forehead play into the fight?
Whose forehead? You know,
his forehead and all the blood that was coming.
You have to ask him. You know, I just took advantage of what I had. You know, it was a good shot. You know, if we had butted heads like that, I think I would be bleeding also.
No, but we did see on our pictures,
I know
Pernell, that it was a Whitaker.
You always see everything that I do wrong.
No,
you know,
Pernell,
obviously, we're going to leave out of here like this. One more time for the giver.
Well, just tell us.
You know, you have to bring in the big fights. You know, I can't keep. Obviously, these guys get up for fighters like myself just as well as. Once I can get one of these bums in the ring that can stand up and give me a challenge that I can prepare for,
all right,
then you can get a great fight.
Are you saying what I said earlier, that it may be easier for you to fight a great fighter because you're going to be in top shape and motivated?
Oh, I'm always in great shape. You know, I don't go in camp, I don't half step, I don't play around, I don't cut corners, I don't do anything but work towards my opponent. So, you know, I came in great shape, and I came in prepared in preparation of going 12 rounds. I didn't take him for granted. No one knew about this guy. You guys didn't know anything too much about him, but he showed himself, he showcased himself. He's a great fighter, he's a good individual, and I'm sure he'll be world champion when his time comes.
Given the fact that decisions can be crazy, do you just feel a little bit lucky tonight that you got out of here with this?
No, I don't feel lucky. You know, I came in to win, whatever it takes to win. You know, for 12 years straight, I've been a winner.
That is true, but do you think...
And I'm going to continue to be a winner until I pass on.
Do you think that a champion who has been around as long as you have, and this was your 19th championship fight, might get
me to come work beside you now, Larry.
might get the benefit of doubt in some close rounds, and that helped you tonight?
Oh no, I don't want to go into that. You know, I'm not going to say that the judges were for me. You know, that's picking. You know, I don't choose the judges. I don't pick the judges. I don't know the judges. They
who's next? If you want a big fight,
you might be next, Larry. I'm fighting for your job. I can't win.
No, tell me,
I can't win the interview.
We hear there are negotiations going on with Trinidad. Is this true?
Yeah.
Obviously it is, and you know, with guys like that, the fights that the fans want to see, the people want to see, let's get up for it. Let's go. Let's keep them from waiting. Obviously, I just go on and on, proving myself when I don't have to.
Larry,
guys
he's never back down on anybody. He's never, you know that.
All right, guys.
He'll fight Quattro, he'll fight Trinidad, he'll fight Chavez, he'll fight De La Hoya, he'll fight anybody out there.
All right, I know, and he'll fight me. Thank you, Great Pee-wee. Thank you, Sweet Pea.
Great fight. Good fight. Good fight.
All right, Wilfredo, Thank you very much. Congratulations on a great fight. Did you think you had won the fight?
¿Tú crees que tú tenías esta pelea ganada?
Claro, estoy presionando todo el tiempo. I'm pressuring hard. I'm working hard. Every time he go for the holding, jab, holding, use your head. Go in this area, you know, abajo.
All right, do you think he got the benefit of the doubt because he's been such a long time, highly respected champion?
¿Tú crees que la forma por la que él ganó es porque él ha sido campeón por tanto tiempo?
Oh, él tiene mucha experiencia, es un buen campeón, pero no es por criticar a nadie ni por ponerle en duda a nadie, pero él no se pesó legalmente, se trepó a la báscula, se bajó. Ahora mismo estuvo corriendo, agarrándose, dándole con la cabeza, golpes bajos, y en ningún momento le decían nada, al contrario, decían Whitaker, ok, Whitaker, nunca le dan puntos, y lo regañaron más de 10 veces.
He's concerned that, he was scolded many times. He's concerned that about the scale, when he went up on the scale and got off, he doesn't believe that Whitaker actually made his weight.
So he is saying, in effect, that he thinks that Whitaker got a lot of the benefit of doubts here tonight.
¿Tú crees que porque él es campeón que él ganó esta pelea entonces?
Sí, no solo porque es campeón, porque es el muchacho protegido de la firma promotora, es un campeón de mucho prestigio, y pues una decisión no se la van a dar cerrada al retador.
It's not only because he's the champion, but the promoters are he fights for the promoters of this fight.
Tell us about the headbutt and how the blood affected your fight.
Dinos, que nos diga qué efecto tuvo tu cortada en la pelea.
Oh, tuvo mucha porque yo no le tengo miedo a botar sangre, soy un gallo de cría, como dicen los boricuas.
I'm not afraid of shedding blood.
Pero la sangre me estaba cayendo en el ojo.
But the blood was just going in my eyes.
Y solamente estaba peleando Whitaker con medio boxeador porque tenía un solo ojo. Este ojo, no veía.
And most of the time I was only fighting Whitaker with one eye because I couldn't see out of the other eye.
So do you think that the blood that was pouring down over your face was the ultimate determining factor in this fight?
¿Tú crees que entonces que la sangre que te estaba cayendo por la cara fue la que determinó la pelea?
No, yo gané como quiera, únicamente que no veía bien, lo veía bien y pues pude haberle colocado mejores golpes, pero yo gané como quiera porque estuve presionando, es lo que hacía era agarrarse y darme otra vez con la cabeza, golpes bajos, un solo jab, únicamente me entraba limpio, un solo jab o dos por round.
Yeah, regardless of the blood, I know I won this fight. You know, he was fighting a little dirty, he hit me below the belt, he was hitting me with his head, he was fighting dirty.
Thank you very much, Wilfredo.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
2 minutes, please. I say, San Martin, hello people, thank you for having me on this island, I love this island. Welcome to Puerto Rico when I go from Puerto Rico. Thank you very much. Puerto Rico, los quiero mucho. Ganamos la pelea.
Jim, George.
Thank you very much, Larry. I'll tell you what, Whitaker says he'll fight Cuarte, he'll fight Trinidad, he'll fight Chavez. I got one question. Will he fight Wilfredo Rivera again? This kid deserves a rematch.
I don't think so. But if I'm his manager, Wilfredo, I'll be demanding a rematch, and I think he could win it too. This guy deserves a rematch.
Well, he certainly wouldn't be in any way intimidated or afraid of Whitaker the next time around.
He knows the way through the woods now and how to find the gingerbread house.
Right.
He knows the way to the gingerbread house this time.
Well, let's go back to the whole theme of the evening. You'll recall at the start of the evening, this is all about the question of whether somebody's going to set up Whitaker versus Cuarte down the road. And you saw Cuarte whack out his opponent with a terrific, technically brilliant third-round knockout. If Cuarte got ready to go in against Whitaker 3 months from now,
Boy, I tell you, if I'm telling Whitaker